If Sean Diddy Combs is found guilty of being the head of a criminal enterprise, he may not end up in prison long. Past RICO cases have shown just how tricky getting and keeping a conviction can be. Case in point, John Gotti. 39 years ago this month, in May of 1986, Gotti was locked up only to walk free after an acquittal, yes, less than a year later. And that acquittal earned Gotti the nickname the Teflon Don. He was on trial for the mob assassination of Gambino crime boss Paul Castellano. It happened outside of New York Steakhouse in December of 1985. The murder made headlines across the country and cleared the way for Gotti to assume control of the Gambino crime family, making him the most powerful mob boss in the USA. And that sway helped him to win his court case, because what the prosecution didn't know was that Gotti somehow made his way onto the jury. He had a man on the inside, juror number 11. His name was George Pape. He sold his vote on the jury for $60,000. Pape had reached out to Sammy the Bull Gravano, who was helping to run the Gotti organization while the boss was locked away. And after almost 6 months of trial, John Gotti walked out of federal court a free man. But feds did not give up. In 1990, Gotti was charged with racketeering again. But this time, it was the feds who had their inside man. That man was Sammy the Bull Gravano, the same underboss who negotiated the deal with juror number 11 back in 1987. Sammy the Bull testified against Gotti and sent Gotti to prison for life without parole. But it came at a cost, because Sammy the Bull had to enter the witness protection program soon after the trial, although he left that program after just 8 months. In 1997, a book called Underboss was written about his life, and Sammy the Bull Gravano joins me live now. I have been waiting to talk to you. Thank you so much for doing this tonight. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. There was a few things I'd like to correct the statement. I mean, I was the guy. I rigged the trials for John Gotti. I bribed jurors. That $60,000 fee, I paid him $60,000 in cash and got him a job as a Teamster foreman that he made $75,000 a year. So, and then at the end, when I did cooperate, he got arrested and he pled guilty and admitted to everything I'm saying right now. So that's how we beat the case.
Well, there's a reason, you know, there's a reason that there are countless books and movies and Broadway shows and plays all about the actions and activities of the mob. And it's because it's transfixing the things that went on. But I am curious if you, having gone through it all, having been pulled under the RICO statute and been locked away yourself, do you see that racketeering applies in what you're hearing out of Diddy's case so far?
Yeah, parts of it. The racketeering law is a very complicated law. I was arrested a couple of times under RICO, and a couple of times I testified in cases that the RICO law was used. And it's easy to understand when you're using it against the mafia or a cartel or, an organization like that, a criminal organization. This is a different form of the RICO, where the organization is where Diddy had his company, he used that as a criminal organization. But it's going to be a little hard to understand for a lot of people because it was confusing. Lawyers were confused about it. I'm a little confused about it. I think they have a clear-cut case without the RICO case. I mean, what this guy did is disgusting. I don't think there's a person alive, a man or a woman, especially women, who are not going to hate this guy. Whatever he did was completely disgusting. It's beyond criminal. I don't even know what it is. I look at it like he disgraced everybody. He disgraced the black race by being a black man. I know a lot of black people, and they hate him for it because it painted a picture towards all of them. I think it's being followed all over the world. if he's not found guilty or he's cut free or he does a short amount of time, I mean, I could only imagine what the whole world would think. This is a disgusting country. So there's a lot of things.
Sammy, if you would, give me your comparison. I mean, listen, guys in the mob did some terrible, terrible things. The murders were gruesome and violent and painful, and they served a purpose. They were meant to terrify people into staying in line, right? Compare that to the things that you've heard alleged from the witness stand and testimony under oath from a lot of these young women and some of the young men who were his assistants. Compare the guys in the mob to the stuff you're hearing alleged against Diddy.
If we did that in the mob, we would be killed for it. We would never touch women and children and stuff like that. So that's against our rules, our principles. We would never get away with something like that. There was a guy, Roy DeMeo and Gas Pipe, who became serial killers, killing for no reason, and they were killed. So, I mean, if he was in the mafia, he would, and we knew what he was doing, he would have been killed. There would be no trial.
Interesting. So what if he is convicted? And that is a long way. We're you know, it's a 9-week trial. We're only 2 weeks into it. We're only in the prosecution's case. So obviously it looks bad for Diddy right now. If he's convicted, what would his life in federal lockup be like, given the evidence that we've been hearing about him and the way he treated women?
He's going to be treated like a in plain English. I mean, that's what they're going to do with him. They don't like child molesters in prisons. This is very, very similar. Listen, we're all men. We have wives. We have daughters. We have granddaughters. When you hear this, it's going to turn your stomach. So I'm sure women will feel that way, and I'm sure most men will feel that way. So it's one thing to have these sexual parties and do what you want, swingers, but he took that to a whole nother level. I mean, there's women who didn't go along. Some women went along with it. Most of them did. He gave them drugs and stuff like that. They were unconscious. By the time they woke up, they don't even know who did what. This is, I've never seen or heard anything like it in my life.
You know, Diddy's a billionaire. His defense is going to bleed a lot of money out of him, but $1 billion is a lot more. Some have said that money will buy him anything he needs in prison. It will buy him friends. It will buy him protection. It will buy him influence. Do you think that the money can leapfrog the other issues that you just said, that he will be considered, you know, on the lowest rung, given the crimes that we've heard alleged in this trial?
Now, it's true. Money talks in prison. He could buy a little bit of a protection, but they'll use him. Nobody will like him. They'll use him, but some guys are broke in prison, and they'll cater to him a little bit, maybe protect him so that they're getting money. It's going to be hard for him to get money into prison. I don't care if he's got billions or whatever it is. It's still got to come in through the prison system. And they're only going to allow a certain amount of money coming in. They're not going to allow huge amounts of money. And there's people watching these things that go on in prison. So he's not going to just be able to buy everybody in the joint. They'll see that, they'll stop it, they'll put a stop to it. He'll have some use of some money, but not big money. And people will hate him regardless, no matter how much money he has on the outside. Like I said, it's not going to get in that easy. They'll monitor all that.
Well, and again, he's innocent until proven guilty, and we're only 2 weeks into the trial. I have one more question for you that I've been dying to ask you all these years. I know you were living this lifestyle. I know this was your world, but you've been out of it for a long time. And are you 19 murders? I'm trying to remember. Was it 19 murders that you committed?
Yeah. No, I didn't commit 19 murders. I was involved in 19 murders. Sometimes I was the planner. Sometimes I was the shooter. Sometimes I was just, you know, there's different, on a hit, there's a lot of different people, positions that you play. So I didn't kill 19 people. Sounds like I killed them all. I never woke up one morning and wanted to kill somebody. I usually had orders to do it, like a soldier would have. And I never, we didn't kill women, we didn't kill children, and I never killed an innocent man. It was somebody who was in the mafia, who took the oath. You live by the oath or you die by the oath. So you break the rules and you die. Now, if you don't have
so no regrets?
Excuse me?
No regrets?
No, that's the rules and that's the life you live by. I was in the military as well, and there was rules. I was taught to kill the enemy. There's no regrets in doing that. You're fighting in a war. This is the same exact thing. If you can't have rules that you got a lot of tough guys in the mafia, whether it's the black mafia, the Italian mafia. Now, if you don't have rules where you die if you break the rules, how do you control them? You lose control of them.
I have been so fascinated. I could talk to you for hours, and I'm going to ask you to come back because I think this trial is going to go on for a while, and I'd really love to hear your perspective as it continues. Sammy the Bull, thanks so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and it's a pleasure to come on.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.